guest is a longtime friend of mine. I'm excited to have him on the show. I'm excited to talk to this dude. Not only do we want to highlight our own employees and our own product leaders here at the company this week, not only do we want to highlight the NetApp A team this week, we also want to highlight arguably one of the most important things that NetApp has, and that's our partners. The companies that are out there putting our products to use, pushing the boundaries of everything we can do with them. And one of my favorites, who I affectionately refer to as the Dub-Dub, WWT, Mr. Derek Elbert. Derek, thanks so much for joining me on the show, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Nick, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So what do you do at WWT? Give the folks a quick introduction.
Yeah, so quick intro. I'm a solutions architect at WWT. I sit in the Global Solutions and Architecture Group, so we're a global team that covers the industry from a technology focus, right? We don't focus based on a given region or a given account, but we cover it more on a technology or solution focus. So that's where we sit within WWT. There's about 250 of us that support a lot of solutions. Yeah.
So that is global team. You're covering everything. Yep. Wow. I guess the thing I want to start off asking with, obviously the theme of today is AI. The keynote was very focused on AI solutions, leveraging NetApp and ONTAP specifically under the covers for some of that data management, the foundational pieces of it. How have you seen ONTAP and NetApp Storage and Solutions really have... let me take a step back for a second. Give me your pulse on what's happening out there from the partner perspective. Like, where are you seeing the uptake happen just in general around AI? Is it still a long ways off, or is it happening today?
So it is happening today, right? And WWT, so this started probably more than 12 months ago. We became an AI-led company, right? And it started with executive leadership initiatives to drive investment in AI, right? And obviously, any space that operates in the high-performance architecture space, right? Think NVIDIA, obviously NetApp has a footprint there.
Yeah.
I think the networking side, that is where we're investing. And with our Advanced Technology Center, we have morphed that into what we call the AI Proving Ground. So you can think of what used to be the Advanced Technology Center. It's still there. People can still use it just like they used to. But now we have taken all of the reference architectures that are sponsored by NVIDIA and put them into an AI-specific playground for our customers to use, right? NetApp has a presence in there with their high-performance storage systems, and we can actually showcase to customers the ability to do AI and do it effectively, right? And
so are these proofs of concept? Are these POCs, or are they more like you're assisting them build theirs?
Yeah, so that's one avenue, right? So proofs of concepts are obviously a huge part of what we do. So we love to bring customers in. We love to give them a place to validate, test, prove out, and then eventually, hopefully, move it into production in their own environments, and we will help them do that. But a piece of the ATC and the AI Proving Ground as well is giving ourselves the knowledge and the rigor and the discipline around how to make AI effective, right? And how to take it from, that pie in the sky to something actually practical, right?
Yeah.
And that's how we voice it at WWT it's taking the best of, predictive AI or applied AI and generative AI and making it practical, right?
What industries are you seeing take it up the most? Is there a particular vertical that is really like ahead of the curve when it comes to whether it's RAG or whether it's using any kind of Nemo integrations and stuff like that? Is there a particular vertical, an industry that's really taking this by storm?
That's a great question, and there definitely is an uptick, right? So if you look at the service provider landscape, I would say they're the ones furthest ahead, right?
I wouldn't have guessed that. Interesting, okay.
And alongside them, right, obviously life sciences, pharma, and financial services, right? Those are the three that are further ahead, I would say. More general enterprise, they're still dabbling, right? Trying to figure out what's the strategy look like? How do I do it? There's a lot of initiatives or excitement in the public sector, but the problem that we've seen in public sector is pushing that to the forefront, right? They're a little bit more reserved. They take a little bit more time with implementing the solutions, but they do have a lot of good ideas and they could see a lot of value, right? So,
So what kind of solutions do you see, I guess, is the next question where I wanted to go. With that in mind, what are the predominant ones? So my guess was going to be financial services, market making, things like that, that you can obviously predict that that's probably what financial services companies are going to be using it for. But it can also be predictive in the sense of helping companies project earnings, financial forecasting, things like that really can come into play. I guess what I'm curious is what kind of solutions are you seeing in some of those that are doing it right and running away with it?
Yeah, so I can give you an example. So in financial services specifically, they've all been trying to figure out this fraud detection and fight fraud, right, in some form or fashion. And they've been doing that for a long time, and I think they're still trying to do that. But where we've seen an uptick on the generative AI side is more around enabling their internal workforce to become more efficient, right? And you think about RAG, you think about chat bots, right? But it's about getting your data ready first and making it effective and efficient for the users, right? Whether they're internal users or customers that come to your site, right? So I think the first path in is always going to be some type of chatbot, RAG-based application that you can move forward with. There's very few people out there trying to build, train, or even do a lot of fine-tuning with the models, because there's so many models out there, and the ability to take one of those and implement it into a solution and use something like RAG to ingest your enterprise data is just so much quicker. The time to market is so much better, and you're not spending, countless dollars training and fine-tuning when you can take a model and augment it to fit your domain and make it specific for your end user. So there's another customer where they come to us in the AI Proving Ground, and we're big on making sure you have the right hardware for the right job, right? Or for the right use case. And we've spent a lot of time with the accelerators that we have in the AI Proving Ground, obviously the storage environments that we have in there as well, and the network environments, to do some significant testing around sizing for high performance architecture, right? So taking into account factors like what model are you going to use, what size is that model going to be, how many users are going to be hitting this, what kind of response times are you looking for, not just to first token, but also total response. And all of those things factor into how many accelerators you need and what type of bandwidth you need in order to produce the outcome, right?
Yeah, and that's going to determine number of GPUs, number of CPUs, network architecture, all of that kind of stuff,
100%, 100%, because everybody wants to start small, right? But if you have a 15,000 user base and they're all going to be hitting it at the same time, you might want to start thinking a little bit bigger initially, because you want to have a customer service representative inside your organization able to respond to your customers in a timely manner, right? You don't want them waiting hours or even minutes, right? You want the response from that prompt to be almost instantaneous, right? At least within a few seconds. So
let's do a quick role play
efficient
exercise.
Yeah.
I'm a customer and I'm coming to you and I have no idea what I'm talking about. And I say, Dub, I want an AI. How do you start that conversation? What are the things that before they call you, should they be considering? It's not a point and laugh kind of thing. There's no such thing as a stupid question. We love consulting with customers any chance we get to help them come up with solutions and stuff. But what are some of the key things, maybe lessons learned is a better word, that you've discovered throughout the last 12 months, as you were saying, that some of our viewers could maybe latch onto and go and inspect in their environments? Yeah,
so that's a great question, and I'm glad you asked it, honestly, because the first thing that we start with, right, when you look at it from walking into a customer and actually helping them, consulting them, building the strategy, the first piece of that is data, right? Where's your data? Do you have access to it? What kind of sovereignty and governance and compliance do you need around that data? Have you figured that out? Are there security protocols that you need? So that's the first conversation. And a lot of times, we don't get to have that conversation, but we need to, because if you have bad data, you're going to have bad AI, and the applications that use it are going to have a bad experience, right? It's going to be a bad experience. And we're not even talking the responsibility AI component of that around, bias control and,
Sure.
and ranking and prioritization. That would be the next step after you get your data in order. If you move it a step further, so what we've done is, like, we made an investment and we had executive buy-in, right? And we are big on having center of excellence. That's what we call it. Some people call it a tiger team.
Yeah.
We like to call it a center of excellence, and we help position that for our customers, right? Make sure that they have that in place. And the three main points that you need in that room, right, is a product owner or line of business owner, obviously executive buy-in and investment, obviously the data science team and the people that are actually doing the work with the models, and then your IT team, right? Your enterprise team that's going to support the hardware that you're going to buy, or even the platforms that you're looking to deploy in the public cloud. So it takes all of those teams to be in the same room and moving or rowing in the same direction. So that's what we did internally at WWT. So we started with what we call WWT Atom.
Okay.
And that is essentially taking all of the knowledge from the 30-plus years of Worldwide and our Advanced Technology Center, all the documents, all the POCs, all the enterprise data that we hold, and pumping it into a RAG-based application architecture, funneling all that data, and building our own internal employee experience chatbot that our sales teams and up to 6,000 users today can use. Now, that process has been an iterative process, meaning that, we didn't just push it to production and move on. We continually go through the data curation process to make sure that we are chunking the data properly, that we are embedding it properly, we're using the right embedding model. We ensure that the prioritization and ranking, and there's always a human in the loop aspect of this, and we're constantly feeding that data, and data is pumped through that pipeline every night, right? Like, we are constantly updating that pipeline. And what we've done with that is now we're taking it, and I think a key and where customers need to be in order to see ROI is they need to make AI a system of systems, and meaning it needs to be embedded into every application. So start with a fundamental component. Let's say it's a RAG-based application or architecture. Use that data pipeline, but then start feeding it and spreading it into all of your other internal tools or customer-facing tools. So we took what we did with Atom, and now we have launched an RFP assistant tool. And it's all based off the same fundamental data pipeline. We are just enabling a new set of users and a new functionality for the front end, but using the same methodology, right? So, like I said, it's iterative and we are getting better at it, but it's not every customer is the same. Like, I hate to say every customer is a snowflake, but if your data isn't, no customer data is the same, right?
Yeah.
And in order to make it effective, you have to use your own data to make it effective and to make it domain specific.
Well, so there you go. Good first step.
If you can't get that in order, then...
And it goes back to the thing, guys, you guys are going to get tired of hearing me say it eventually. No data, no AI. So if you're not curating your data properly, if you're not taking care of it, if you're not indexing it and doing all of the things, inferencing all of your images, doing all of that stuff. Like, we've recently turned on Doc, our chatbot, DocBot, I think they're calling him, basically for our ONTAP documentation. And we've learned so many things. They've been through so many iterations, just like you said. So, yeah, we're learning just as much as you guys are. We're excited about it. I know you guys are excited about it. But I appreciate you stopping by the show, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hang out with you this week.
Yeah,
Looking
I'm
forward to
excited
seeing what
too.
you guys come. Promise me something. Can I come to see the Center of Excellence in the ATC,
For
what you
sure.
were describing earlier?
For
Maybe
sure.
we can do a longer show
Yeah,
there.
we can go through all the lessons that we've learned internally, right?
Awesome.
I do want to say, like, for people that are here at Insight, we have a session specifically on a successful path with AI with WWT tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Nice. And we'll have these available online as well for those guys. If you're watching from home, we'll have these sessions available online for people to watch as well. So, Derek, thank you so much for dropping by, man. I really appreciate you taking the time, and look forward to getting to hang out with you this week, man.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care.